Hello, you're watching Avenue X, where Junkian Good Storytelling shares her thoughts, knowledge, and occasional weird ideas on stories and how they're told. And this is the first video of a new series of video I've decided to do on my channel called Drama versus Reality. So, in this series of video, we're gonna look at all kinds of things that you see in Chinese drama land versus what they're based on and what it's like in reality. So, it could include history. Historical figures who get frequently depicted in Chinese dramas. It could also have things to do with cultural practices, the language, anything and everything that I can think of and you're interested in. If you have any such suggestions, questions, things you want me to make a video on, leave that in the comment section. Now let's cut into business and make the first proper video on this series called Who is this Emperor's True Love of His Life? 爱新觉罗胤禛, the fourth emperor of the Qing dynasty. And he has been put on screen multiple times. If you are old enough and then you are Chinese literate, you may have seen a drama that's over 20 years old. It was made back in 1999 called Yongzheng Wangchao, literally means Yongzheng's dynasty. And that was a proper historical drama. Because it's an older drama, it's very hard to find English subtitles on this type of old dramas now. So for younger audiences and probably most of my demographic audiences, it's likely that you've come across these four dramas focused on Qing dynasty and Yongzheng ruling period, which would be the 2011 Scarlet Heart, the same year Palace, then 2012 the Empress in Palace / Zhenhuan Zhuan, Zhenhuan's story that's still the most well-received and influential Yongzheng dynasty setting, period romantic, but slightly historical drama until today. Then there's a rather recently made drama that's pretty crappy, and I've ranted about that drama a lot, but that's the 梦回大清 drama. So, who is the love of his life? Is it Ruoxi from the contemporary time traveled into his world? Is it Qing Chuan, who also time traveled into Qing dynasty? Or the other girl that he used to get what he wanted in the palace fight? Is it Zhenhuan, the woman who looks so much like his first love that he lost when he was younger? Or is it Nian Shilan, the flamboyant concubine who is so beautiful but then so lethal? Well, the answer is, I don't know. Surprise! I cannot time travel first. Also, I'm not a shaman, so I cannot contact his dead spirit. But we do have something called historical record to show you first what kind of emperor he really is in history and then who could be the most important person in his life. And if you have to pick a person that he probably loved most, trusted most, devoted most of his personal emotional energy to, it would actually be his younger brother, number 13. Yongzheng. Among the four dramas I've mentioned, the most accurate and closest to history record version of the brothers' bond would be the Scarlet Heart, where Yongzheng Emperor is played by Wu Qilong and his 13th brother, Yongzheng, is played by Yuan Hong. It's a very, very rare thing in history. Therefore, I think it's really worth talking about. And by the end of it, I think the historical things that have happened will convince you that if Yongzheng ever had a true love of his life, it probably wouldn't be a woman in his life, concubine, wife, any of that, but his half-brother. So, let's start with some historical facts. 爱新觉罗胤禛, the later Yongzheng emperor, is 8 years older than his younger brother, who is numbered 13 in the age ranking of all the princes who managed to grow up old enough to be Kangxi's sons. 胤禛himself was the fourth son. His mother is Wu Yashi, as depicted by Liu Xuehua in the drama Empress in Palace. But although he's born out of this mother's womb, he wasn't brought up by the mother. He kind of get adopted by the empress at the time and grew up by the empress side because the empress at the time didn't have a son. And it's actually a very common practice in Qing dynasty court to shift the sons around among their mothers. And there's also an organization in this palace that basically takes care of all the young kids. It's an intentional thing that they designed to not make the mother and the son bond too much, preventing the possibilities of later the prince has too much of a tie with the maternal side and their family and influence the imperial family's political power and rule. Yongzheng didn't get bring up by his real mother, which also caused the very well-known situation later in history where he's never very close to the mother and to his actually full blood-related brother, number 14, in Scarlet Heart, played by Lin Gengxin. As for the 13th prince, Yongzheng, in Scarlet Heart, played by Yuan Hong, and our main character in this video, his mother is Zhang Jiashi, who is a low birth, not very highly ranking concubine, but very, very loved by Kangxi. Ever since he was a little child, he's very good at study. He can write good poetry, his calligraphy is great, he can paint, he can do very good sportsmanship things such as shooting arrows and hunting. If you look at the Kangxi dynasty records, from when he was old enough to accompany his father to all kinds of hunt to when he was 23 years old, there have been many occasions the Kangxi Emperor has praised this son of his. Yongzheng is lucky in the sense that he is one of the beloved son of his very powerful emperor father, but he is also unlucky that his mother died when he was very young, only 13 years old. There's historical record of Yong Zheng's own writing, proving that he is very close to his 13th brother when they were kids. He personally taught him mathematics, hand by hand. So he was like a half teacher to his younger brother. Yongzheng's golden early life ended when he was 23, because that was the year when the crown prince got deposed for the first time. During Kangxi dynasty, the very famous 9子夺嫡, 9 princes fighting for the throne thing, later termed in history like that. People often think the year when the crown prince gets deposed is the significant point 1, although it started a long time ago before that. And this crown prince actually got deposed, restored, deposed again. He had twice of that epic experience. Anyway, that year he got that kind of fall and house arrested. With that, number 13 also got house arrested. Not so long after, he showed up in historical record again, showing up around his father doing other kind of things, which means he didn't get house arrested for that long. He was allowed to come out. But exactly why, we do not know. All the records have been wiped from history. Why did the emperor who loved his 13th son that much before suddenly got so harsh on him, and then very quickly let him out again? But from that point onwards, till the moment Kangxi died, he never showed kindness to his 13th son again. And hardly any record is left now about all the harsh treatment he gave his son, because Yongzheng, when he got to the throne, he wiped all that record. There's only tiny traces left in the sea and piles of documents here and there, showing that occasionally you can still see Kangxi Emperor being very harsh and kind of publicly scolding number 13. The other thing that can prove from when Yongzheng was 23 to when he was 36, that was the year that Kangxi passed away, he wasn't loved by the father. All his other brothers, younger or older, got all kinds of rewards during festivals, seasons, got titles as they got older. He is the only one who wasn't given a title that is usually bestowed to the emperor's sons. And you see a version of why it happened like that and what happened in Scarlet Heart, where it's totally made up by the story itself, but it kind of makes a logical sense. So basically for Yongzheng, the mid-section from the early 20s to mid-30s of his life was not good. But the one fortunate thing about his life is he has a great relationship with his older brother, who would later, as history would decide, become the next emperor. And now I'm gonna list a couple of things that can prove that Yongzheng's true love is his younger brother. Number 1, 1722, the year Kangxi passed away and Yongzheng ascended the throne. Literally the next day of him ascending the throne, he gave his 13th brother the title 和硕仪亲王. Qing is the highest prince rank that you can give to a Qing dynasty prince who is not the heir for the future, not the crown prince. So crown prince would be the highest, and then it would be Qing. Then he also named him one of the 4 most important subjects who are in charge of the entire country's operation. You can think of them as the 4 premier of the country. Second, for all the hard work the 13 has done for him, he decided to give him a huge dosage of money, literally dump it on him. And the number is incredibly scary. 23万两银. Silver, 23万, which is 230,000 liang is the unit of silver. The better way of reference how much money that is if you read the novel 红楼梦. In time, it was written a couple of decades later, but close enough to Yongzheng's time. And in that novel, there's one peasant woman in that novel called Liu Laolao. And she said for her pretty well-to-do peasant family of 4 people, entire year's cost of living is 20 liang. So put that into perspective, okay? 230,000 liang. And Yingxiang was very humble. He was like, no, I do not deserve that much money, okay? Refuse. Multiple times of refusing until the brother and the brothers settled at the number of 130,000. So basically he refused 100 grand and took the rest. Number 3, because 13's mother died when he was very young, and because at the time she's only concubine, Fei, which means she has no right to enter the same tomb, underground palace, as the emperor, because that's reserved for the empress. So all the Fei or the concubines can only have tombs separate from the main tomb and not buried together. Yongzheng was like, no, my brother deserves the best. Even his dead mother deserves best. So what he did was first raise the rank of the dead mother from Fei to Huanggui Fei, which is 1 level down from empress. If you're empress, you are the proper official wife of the emperor. Then immediately 1 level down, vice empress almost in Qin dynasty's setup, that's Huanggui Fei, and then moved her tomb into Kangxi's tomb. Kind of forced the concubine to live with the emperor in the same room in afterlife. Although probably Kangxi wouldn't be very angry because it is one of his favorite wife. That hasn't happened, okay, anywhere in Qin dynasty history for other concubines done by the later emperor, and to a woman who is actually not his birth mother, but his brother's birth mother. Showing you how special number 13 is to him. Number 4, these days on China's internet, when people talk about Qin dynasty history, they like to jokingly call Yingxiang after Yongzheng ascended the throne as 常务副皇帝, which means executive vice emperor, which is actually true because Yongzheng, obviously as an emperor, was the most powerful man at the time. Then the second most powerful man is his brother. He does everything with his brother. They work both as workaholics. And for all the work that Yongzheng has no time and energy to deal with, he dumps it to his 13th brother, which means he trusts him that much that he thinks he's like the second me who can really speak for me at any occasions, but also added so much workload to not very healthy number 13, which caused 13 to die very young, actually. Sad story later. Yingxiang was in charge of administration, finance, military operations, even diplomatic relationships with all the Mongolian aristocrats at the time. So he's basically in charge of everything. He even is in charge of a lot of important hydraulic engineering projects. He had a disease and caused his leg to have a really bad problem from when he was 25 to the end of his life. With his broken leg, he would actually personally walk to those sites, onto mountains, down the valleys, and in charge of hydraulic engineering projects. So he's a workaholic too. And probably because he was so sidelined during the years when he was a prince, because the father didn't like him, once he got to power, he just wanted to repay how much the brother trusted in him, so he overworked himself. And the 5th point, proving how much Yongzheng loved him, was first, when he died, Yongzheng had 3 days, 辍朝, which means stopping all the political daily meetings he has with the subjects. Then he gave him a 谥号, which is a type of title that you give to a dead emperor or important subjects or empress or concubine, anyway, like the important people. He picked the word 贤, which means a sage. And he added 8 more characters. So in Qin dynasty, basically the more characters you have, the higher the title is and the more important you are. Just to tell the entire country how much I like you and how good you are a person. 忠敬诚直, 勤慎廉明. 忠 loyal, 敬 respectful, 诚 honest, 直 upstanding, 勤 diligent, 慎 cautious, 廉明 put together you can say temperate and just. I don't know how many good words you can think to describe a person's entire life and their contribution, but this is kind of pushing it to the limit. And although when he was alive, before he died, 13 has told number 4 many times that don't overbuild my tomb, just follow the rules of what rank I have, don't overdo it. Yongzheng didn't care. Yongzheng built the greatest, grandest grave for a Qing Wang in the entirety of Qing dynasty for his 13th brother, far exceeding the limit and the rules of the time for such a positioned person, and he didn't care. No, I love you so much that I don't care. Even if you don't want it, I'm gonna put it on you. And then for the point number 6, he did further things, such as he collected the poetry of his 13th brother and published it. He also has described on record to other subjects about how he looked at his brother, which is, my 13th brother is 宇宙之全人. 宇宙, universe, 之 belongs to 宇宙, 宇宙的, 宇宙全人, full rounded, all around perfect man. My brother is the entire universe's most perfect man. The word he uses is kind of like, really? Are you writing a romantic novel? It's a bit over the top, hey, for Qing Dynasty Emperor. Now, with all the things I've told you that's on hard record in Chinese history, do you think it is fair to say, for Yongzheng, this emperor, the love of his life is his younger brother? And it's very moving, actually, to think about such people actually exist in history. And this rare kind of bond and love between supposedly fight-to-death brothers for the throne. During Kangxi and Yongzheng's throne change was one of the worst political fight thing, Game of the Throne thing, between the princes thing in the entirety of Chinese history. It definitely happened multiple times in Chinese history, but one of the closest and one of the greatest and one of the cruelest result one is this one. Even until today, when people talk about Yongzheng Emperor's rule, they would recognize he's one of the most diligent emperor in China's history, but also two major things about him that people criticize him about is, one, his ascension to the throne, whether it's actually valid, whether it's actually Kangxi's direction or he actually usurped it in a way. The second thing would be he's so cruel to the brothers who were against him during the fight of the 9 princes. Number 8, number 9, number 10, number 14, who is actually his full-blood related brothers, all got very bad treatment in history. And it's just very interesting to show you the multiple sides of one person. At the end of this, I think it probably also has a lot to do with how 13 dealt with this relationship. During the years he was given so much task, he never ran away from the responsibilities. He literally gave his life to his brother's reign, over the top workload. He never complained. He also was so humble that every time his older brother tried to show some kindness, give him some material awards, he would shy away from it and refuse it time and time again and emphasize again and again, I'm humble, I'm your servant, I'm your subject, and I can get to today's position only because of you. He's very aware of how to maintain that relationship. Because he was in such an important position during that time, every person you can imagine, aristocrats, subjects, officials, all kinds of people would try to bribe him and give him gifts and try to get him to help them do whatever they want to do. Every time he gets any kind of gifts from any other people, he would first bring that to the palace, show that to his brother emperor, and say, this official, this aristocrat, today gave me this for this reason. Do you think I should take it? He would actually do this. And if his brother said, yeah, you should take it, he would take it. If the brother didn't like it, he would immediately return it, even when he's almost the vice emperor. And when they were picking the site for their burial, which is a traditional thing, when you were alive, you would start to do that. Emperor Yongzheng picked a land that is ideal feng shui and really, really good for 13. When you die, you're gonna get buried here. I picked it for you. I think it's the greatest place. And 13 was like, no, I don't deserve it. It's too good. I, as a humble servant of yours, do not deserve this kind of land. It cannot be given to a mere prince like me. And eventually, Yongzheng gave in to his younger brother and let him pick his own sites, which is less feng shui ideal. But when he died, he built a bigger than usual tomb for his younger brother. So they're literally 秀恩爱, showing off their affection for each other, even after one of them is dead. Can you say that there's an element of Yongzheng overcompensating on this brother due to certain things that's no longer shown in record? We do not know what exactly happened during Kangxi years that 13 lost the favor, but then 4th loved him so much. That's probably one reason. But could it also be because he knows he is not gonna get loved by his cruel treatment to his other brothers? So in a way, he finds 13 as a person he can overcompensate that. I only am cruel because of my political enemies try to destroy me, so I treat them as how they deserved it. But I am not a monster. See how much I can love other people who are related to me, only half-blood related to me, really. That could be a reason too. It's in the history, we never know unless you can actually contact their spirit and ask them why it is like that, how much do you really love each other, who is the real love of your life. So, that should conclude this video, talking about the incredible brotherly bond story between 爱新觉罗 Yingzheng, Yongzheng Emperor, and his 13th brother, Yingxiang, 和硕夷亲王. Now, when you rewatch Scarlet Heart Palace, Dreaming Back, or Empress in Palace / 甄嬛传, it probably will give you a better idea about how to situate that in real history. Although, number 13 never showed up in Empress in Palace. And on screen, probably the best iteration of that friendship would be the Scarlet Heart version, also the Dreaming Back version. So that should conclude my first video in this series of video talking about drama versus reality. Let me know what are the topics you're interested in, specific persons, specific practices, anything really you come across in Chinese drama land and you find, I wonder what that is, or is there any more to it? And I'll definitely check back on this video and see, hopefully update comments and find interesting things that people want me to talk about. Thank you for watching Avenue X. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long and happy drama watching.